It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you. Because that's New Orleans, and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar today, we're at the fabulous Wayfair on Ferret Street. And as you know by now, if you've ever heard the show before during the summer, Wayfair is the home of Not Your Mama's Frosé. It's a perfect summer drink. The Frosé, it's a frozen cocktail made with dry rosé, vodka, Saint-Germain, Peychaud's bitters, lemon juice, and a house-made strawberry basil syrup. And you can get it here at Wayfair, and you can get it for half price from 3 to 7 every single day during Happy Hour. We're having a very special day today here on Happy Hour. We've got a set of very interesting people, and it's like Crystal Day by sheer random chance, as usual.
Kind of what it can do for your own energy and people around you. So it is something that I'm starting to get a little bit more into.
So
I mean, I'm not as
attracted to it because it was
here,
but you were attracted to it because it was pink.
Yeah.
And now you realize that it has metaphysical properties.
That's right.
Okay. Lucky. And does it have any bad things happen to you since you've been wearing it?
No.
You had a heart
I gotta
attack?
say, I don't wear this one as much as my other ones. It was actually pure luck that I wore this one today.
What are the choices?
I have a black pearl that I could have worn, rose quartz, and that's kind of the end of the ones that I could wear, actually. Yeah.
All right, we're going to work our way through these. And Chris Wilson is here on guitar today. Hey, Chris.
Hi.
Why do you not have a crystal on?
You know, I don't think I have enough vitamins and minerals, clearly.
Wait, you feeling okay, though?
Yeah, I should have gotten the drink you listed before. That sounded delicious.
The frosé. Well, it's not too late. We only just sat down. You can knock off this beer and then get a frosé.
I got to be able to
Thomas has a
stand
frosé.
later. That sounds so good, though.
How long do you have to stand up, do you say?
No. I mean, we have another show later, so I'm going to pace myself. I'll be after.
Where are you playing after this?
We'll actually be playing at Republic NOLA.
Yeah, we're at the Republic NOLA tonight for the Raw Artist Showcase.
Okay.
And actually, it'll be more than just me and Chris. I actually use a full band, even though it's technically hip hop. It's still I use a full band, no DJ, 4-piece band. It's a good time. It's a good show.
You still call it hip hop?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have to still call it hip hop.
Okay.
Hip hop's a feeling.
It is a feeling. It's a feeling. That's kind of where I started. So that's just kind of.
But it seems to me that your music is more than hip hop. It's sort of
evolved.
evolved
It is a little more
into
than hip hop. It's a fusion of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
My background is a little extensive as a musician as well, so
Right.
it's a good reflection of kind of everything that I've learned and me just letting all of that
And
out.
while we're here, let me introduce you to Daniel Shkolnik. Hey, Daniel, how's it going? Daniel is a poet. Not only are you a poet, so you're one of the creators of ragtime poetry, right?
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
who was the other guy we had on the show who was...
Lecco Morris. He's my vice president.
Right.
And good
Lecco
friend.
Morris was only the vice president. So you're the president.
Yeah. The
So
founder.
you're the founder of ragtime poetry. Now, ragtime poetry is you go out on the street with a typewriter and you write poems.
Not only out on the street, we also do it at weddings, corporate events, big conventions, birthday parties, all sorts of stuff.
That's awesome.
Right. And it says here, this is in total of the information I have about you, 2 sentences. But it says that you're you're interested in creating a powerful spiritual alternative to traditional religions.
Yeah, well, it's actually it's fascinating that we have all these crystals at the table.
Yeah.
I love talking about spirituality. I love talking about modern forms of spirituality. Ironically enough, I'm also a humanist and an atheist. But I love talking about the different forms of spiritual, ways of embodying it that we've found in the modern age, and I'm curious about what's coming next.
How did you arrive at the point of being an atheist?
I was kind of raised into it, but if you really push me, I think ultimately I'm agnostic, as I think many of us have to be. We don't really know what goes on behind the curtains of the cosmos, and
There's a difference between an agnostic is a person who doesn't know, who admits they don't know, right? And an atheist is a person who says, I do know, and it's all bullshit.
Well, not exactly. I mean, atheist technically is that you just don't believe in theism. You're atheistic. So you don't believe in gods.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you don't believe in other forces or supernatural entities, but typically atheists are also naturalists, which means
So
they
what
don't believe in
supernatural
that.
entities do you believe in, then?
I don't believe in any supernatural
None.
entities. No.
But you could because you're agnostic.
If there was good evidence, then yes.
Okay, so if Stacy and Rodo can prove to you that these crystals do something metaphysical,
I hope
you'd
they
have
can.
to.
I would buy up a bunch.
But would you have to renounce your agnosticism or atheism and say, yes, there really is a metaphysical force in the universe?
Well, then, ironically, as soon as it's provable, it doesn't become a metaphysical or supernatural force. It becomes a very natural thing.
Well, hang on. What are you saying? Just because it has a physical effect, it's no longer metaphysical? So if you could take this crystal and beam it into your head and give you a terrible headache,
yeah, well,
that would be metaphysical, not physical. The
Right,
headache
right.
would be
We wouldn't know how it works yet. But if we could never figure out how it works with the laws of physics, then that is strictly in the realm of metaphysics and magic and enchantment.
Grant said you with all the hard questions, man.
I
Those are
love
all the
these
hard
questions.
hitters.
I love these
But that's
questions.
what we're trying. Are you trying to start your own religion? Is that what?
No, I'm not trying to start my
So
own
this is what
religion.
it
No,
says
no,
here.
no.
It's an alternative to traditional religions. I thought that meant you were starting an alternative.
No. I'm not starting my own religion. Many people have tried to do that in the past with disastrous results, or repeating the same mistakes of previous religions.
Or some great results like L. Ron Hubbard. Right?
Or
Exactly. That's still going. Thomas, our technical director.
I was wondering. I was like, oh, no.
That sounded like God.
Scientology.
Scientology, another good example.
No, it's a path that's fraught with danger for sure. What I'm interested in is basically creating events and rituals for people that are really emotionally powerful, but don't try and tell people what to believe or what to do. So and keeping the meaning out of it while really basically providing a mirror for people for them to see themselves in a clearer way.
Well, what does that actually mean if you say you're... What sort of ritual are you talking about?
Well, for example, there was one that we did in Metairie Cemetery, and we gathered 10 people on Memorial Day. And instead of memorializing soldiers and those people that fought in wars, we memorialized those people that worked to slow the wheel of violence in the world. And we told...
Opposite.
Yeah, the opposite. And oftentimes, those stories are less remembered. They don't have a plaque on their grave. But those stories, we told several of them of people that, really managed to forgive and particularly one about a woman who forgave this young man who raped and killed her daughter. She was able to eventually forgive him and then actually, accept him as part of her life.
That's a different kind of Memorial Day.
It is.
How did you find her, this person?
Oh, this was a story. So this was a story that I heard from somebody else. But
This is not a real person.
well,
This is a fictional character who forgave her daughter's rapist.
No, it's not a fictional character. Actually, there's several different stories like this. One was a Quaker couple that also lost a daughter in a similar way, and it's not something, it sounds fictional because going from A to B, telling it is so quick, but it really took many, many years and much emotional effort on her part.
But was this person actually in the service in the Metairie Cemetery on Memorial Day? Was she one of the 10 people?
No. The
So
10
how did
people.
she get in the story at all then? How did she get in?
Well, I was retelling the story as an example of a possible way where we could forgive, where we could slow the wheel of violence, and instead of reacting in a vendetta-like way, as many movies of American culture kind of highlight, we could work instead to.
Well, most people
slow
who
the
have
wheel
had
of
terrible
violence.
things happen to them want revenge, though.
Yes, they do.
Stacey, didn't something terrible happen to you in that regard?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I mean, I think you have to, do some personal healing to yourself, trauma, and absolutely, I've had a lot of things happen to me. I've been hurt by a lot of people, so I think you have to learn to sort of go in and heal that part of yourself.
you had a child who was kidnapped.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
what was the story with that? How'd that happen?
Well, I was really messy, split up with his father and I, and he took him and hid him with a family.
So your ex-husband, or the father of your child,
Yes.
at least,
Yes,
kidnapped.
correct.
What was his reason for doing it?
Just to keep him away from me, and
'Cause he hated
he was
you.
missing. He was MIA, and
But did Did the father of the child who kidnapped them think that you were doing something terrible to the kid, or
No,
was he just
no,
trying
no,
to get
not
back
at all.
you?
No, yes, exactly. It was just purely to hurt me, and
Wow.
it was very difficult. I had to find him myself. The
So
police were not able to.
The police didn't track the kidnapper down.
Oh no, they were not able to.
What-
They were unable to locate him.
Why not?
I don't know.
How did you do it?
It's a good story. I had a key to the house, and I planted cameras. And I knew he was staying away, but he would come home periodically to feed his animals.
To your house?
To the house we lived
The
in.
house you lived in together?
We did
So
live,
you
yes.
put like spy cameras
Yes,
in your
correct.
own house?
And they had an alert sent to my phone. So I just waited for him to be home, and then I sent someone to follow him, and followed him to the location my son was at.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do what you have to do when you're a mom.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
it's a
You do what
child,
you
I
have
mean,
to do.
And what happened when you got there? When you found
I
him?
called. I notified the police in that parish, and they went over and got.
Where is
got-
this happening?
This was in Slidell.
In Slidell.
Yeah.
There you go. Slidell, great location for us. For
Yeah.
child molest. So what happened to did you have him arrested or?
Well, I got full custody of my son after that.
No
and,
kidding? Oh,
yeah.
I think so. Even in Slidell, I think they would give you full custody
Yeah, it was.
from a
yeah, it
kidnapper.
was pretty crazy.
And what happened to the guy who kidnapped him, though? Does he get arrested for kidnapping?
Actually, he has eluded a lot of trouble somehow. So I don't know.
He's not in jail.
No.
He's still out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'm so sorry to hear about that, Stacey.
thank you.
Yeah, Stacy,
Those
thanks
crazy
for sharing.
times.
Have you forgiven this guy, or are you like to kill him?
No, that's a jump.
You know, the thing is,
Or
like,
something in between?
there's always that part of you that is going to be like angry, and you just try to subside that. But you know, for your own, it's not really about him. It's for my own personal healing.
Right.
I had to forgive just so that I could move on.
So have you actually forgiven him for real? You found that possible?
To a degree.
How much of a degree would you say? What percentage have you forgiven him?
Because I don't feel that if he felt remorseful, then I think it would be a higher percentage, but maybe like 30%.
30%, so you've still got 70% of hatred. See, that's what most people are like, Daniel, I believe, don't you?
Yeah, and
Well, you
I
don't-
believe that too. No, absolutely, I believe that. What I'm interested in is, you know, it's a very difficult process, and I mean, Stacy, I mean, kudos to you for even getting to 30%. That's, you know, many people never, you know, even think of, you know,
Right.
forgiving the people that hurt them, and let alone, you know, take their child and hide them from them.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I got ex-girlfriends I can't even give 10% to. So you know, yeah, for sure.
It's a lot of inner healing within yourself. I mean, obviously, my goal is to get to that point where I'm just like, you know, I can put it behind me, move on.
Yeah.
But when it's a child involved, it's you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
a lot more sensitive.
Yeah.
than
You still
most
got to
things.
coexist. You know, you still have to.
We do. We still have to coexist, and we're both still have to co-parent. So,
But you have sole custody.
yeah.
I'm
I have
surprised that he's even allowed to come anywhere near you.
It's a long story, Grant.
Well, we have still got a few minutes. But you don't have like a restraining order against him or
I
anything?
did. It expired.
And then what happens? Then you just have to go back to normal?
Yeah, unless
It
you have more,
expires on a Thursday
yep,
at 3
unless you have
o'clock or
more
something?
evidence that other stuff's happening, then that's it. It's over.
So you have to actually give up the child to him, like on the weekends,
Yep.
or
Yes.
that must be awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same person who trailed him and traced him, could he have him killed?
Who
The person who went following him and figured out where he was, could he be
I
a
don't think
hitman?
he could take him
Yeah,
down.
right.
couldn't
I
take
thought,
him down.
I was getting the
Don't
hard
think he could
questions.
take him down.
I got it
That,
easy.
that would be what I would
He
think
was
would
very
be.
large. He was like a
Right.
bodybuilder, like huge. Like I don't think he would stand a chance with that.
No, I mean, could that guy take out your ex-husband?
Jesus.
My ex.
Yeah, so that we'd have him out of the
yeah.
picture. He could.
Yeah.
Well, how
Should we
much
go
would
to the music?
how much would that cost to have him hit?
Yeah, please tell us
How much would it cost to have the guy hit? We could do GoFundMe.
Do you have something you want to tell us out of
No,
curiosity?
I just think that would be an interesting.
Are you offering your services, Grant?
No, I personally
know
wouldn't
what you
like to
do,
kill
Grant.
anybody. No, I'm just saying we could do a
What do you
GoFundMe.
do?
We could do a GoFundMe.
Is this a cover-up?
Are you going to
I'm
crowdsource
sure.
someone's assassination?
I think ultimately what I'm interested in is like these stories. It's no secret that the world and humanity is rife with problems. We do these kind of things to each other all the time. We have been for thousands of years. And it's what I'm interested in, and like the better soul of many spiritual traditions is trying to turn people to forgive,
Away
to
from
find
violence.
right,
Yeah.
away from
And
violence,
retribution.
an understanding of unity, and these kinds of questions and ideals are very powerful and very interesting to me, and that's the kind of in my work as a humanist, as an atheist, and I work with the New Orleans Secular Humanist Association, NOSHA. I'm
Secular Humanist Association. I'm writing that down.
Yeah, New Orleans Secular Humanist Association.
Okay. What is that? What's their sort of code of beliefs?
It's much the same as mine. Humanism, is basically the belief that humanity has the potential to solve its problems. That humans are at base neither good nor evil. We're just people. And if we are able to kind of take our best efforts, we're able to use our minds and our civilization to turn things around for the better, and that involves a lot of science and empirical, trial and error. But over time, things tend to get better.
So things like forgiveness and happiness and joy and so on, they have a scientific.
Well, so
correlation.
those things. So there's the realm of science, which is very technical. But then there's the realm of, as I said, forgiveness, joy, spiritual feelings. Those science doesn't really have much to say about that. You can study it, but how to evoke it. It's much more effective to look at old spiritual traditions. You look at Buddhism or Judaism, Jainism, Christianity. You have all these old narratives that work to basically give people a sense of purpose and meaning in their lives, and a scientific formula is not going to provide that. But humanism believes that we don't necessarily need to rely on the old dogmas and ideals. We can create new ideas, and in the modern world, we now believe that human life is sacrosanct. That the kind of Declaration of Human Rights. Everybody, more or less agrees that people should have human rights, and that a human life is...
Didn't religion grow up to answer all these questions? Isn't that how we got Jainism and Christianity and Buddhism and
Yeah, that's definitely
Islam
one
and
of
all of them?
It's definitely one of the ways that religion has progressed and evolved to try and address these things, among many other things. But in today's world, we have people trying to eke out their own ideas and meanings in the world, and so crystals actually and the New Age tradition is part of a new way of trying to create these kinds of meanings.
And I would love to explain that.
I'm going to make you explain that. And also, I have a very interesting sentence in front of me here. It says, Stacy's an ordained minister.
Yes.
You're an ordained minister? Which
I can
religion?
marry people.
Which religion are you
I'm
ordained?
not a religion, but I can marry people.
Okay. Today, you want to get married anyone today?
Oh, you want to marry
Well,
somebody?
how can you be an
who's
ordained minister
getting
but not of a
married?
religion? What have you
You don't
ordained?
have.
Or
Yeah, you don't
after
have
the
to choose a religion.
assassinations.
to
So,
be a-
who ordained you?
I don't know.
You don't know?
The organization that.
What organization? Like one of these online...
Universal Life
Universal
Church.
Life Church of Modesto, California. That's... Oh, cool. Okay.
But you don't. But you do
So
not
it's-
have to be.
Right. Oh, I thought you were actually a minister of religion. You're just a minister of tax evasion.
I wish it worked like that.
That's what it is. That's what it's for. Okay, we're going to get onto that in a minute. We're going to come back to crystals in just a second, but
Yes.
let's have a song, Rodo. Tell us something.
Awesome.
Because I was saying before that what you do is not strictly hip-hop in this sort of more traditional hip-hop sense. It's evolved into...
It has evolved, much like
Sort of-
what both of my counterparts here are talking about. It has evolved. There's a little bit of R&B, a lot of hip-hop in there as well, but the live music aspect adds a lot of different genres to it. Like tonight, I think 2 of our songs are basically rock and roll. We have one indie song, and we're gonna do a couple of those for you guys today. They're a little bit different than what we normally do on stage, but it should be a good treat. A good treat.
Okay.
Before we left, I actually termed it. I called them rap ballads. So that's what we're gonna do today. It's a couple of rap ballads for
Rap
you guys.
ballads. Okay, yeah. Let's start off with one. What is this one called?
This one's called Up to Something. I had the idea for this song because sometimes you don't go looking for trouble. Sometimes it kind of finds you a little bit, but also you kind of embrace that madness of the trouble. Just from life and some of my experiences, I've had to learn to embrace the turbulence as it comes my way. So this is just kind of a song about me living life through that turbulence. Yeah. Whenever you're ready, Chris. It's cool to be here and be able to drink right before I sing. It's great. Nah, pop my trunk and everybody get to running. If I keep one thing, no, I keep that thing, honey. Police made the block so they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Peace, love, and namaste. My mama say I should pray every day in search of a better way. Born fly, so I levitate. Just doing me. Speak that G stuff fluently. When I say I keep a bad thing, I mean like 2 or 3. Who are we? The homies that you asked for. Born with enough and still ask for more. So I collect 200 every time my paths go. We'll be writing hits even if we fast forward to the next life. Made me wonder what them checks like. And every time she lick her lips, made me wonder what the like. If it's right, you know Rodo there every night. Keep them rhymes tight. And you know I'm sunbathing in the limelight. Like pop my trunk and everybody get to running. If I keep one thing, no, I keep this thing, honey. Police made the block so they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to 9 times out of 10, probably good for an A. And you know I be the man, 7 days straight. 6-figure lifestyle, big boy plates, lobster and steak. 5-star dates, and I keep a bad thing. I got like 4 to give away. Need 3 stacks, make a play like Andre. No, I hit it once, came back like on delay, and they tried to turn on me, but this thing on one way. I'm a savage on the Sabbath, put in work on Sunday. And if they tripping on me, then it's sending out the country. Where your map at? Getting into something where the cash at. Cream, get the money, dollar bills, and the loose change like it's Wu-Tang. Y'all got these whack rappers gassed up like it's butane. And you know we up to something cause it's how we do things. Nah, pop my trunk and everybody get to running. If I keep one thing, no, I keep this thing, honey. Police made the block so they know we up to something. Know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something. Yeah, they know we up to something.
Okay.
That was sweet.
Okay, what'd you think, Daniel?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Stacey, what'd you think of that?
I loved it.
That was really cool.
Hey, thank you guys.
That is really great what you've done here. You've married ballad with hip-hop, with rap.
Yeah, we threw that together like 30 minutes, but no, I'm kidding.
You've really come up. I mean, there is sort of a subgenre of hip-hop that does that now. Like, you hear this band Phony People?
Phony People, yeah.
That's kind of in that sort of
That's
genre.
really good stuff.
Yeah. I love that. That is a beautiful direction to go in.
Thank you.
That really is impressive. Cool.
You know,
So-
it took me a while to get there, but once I got really sat down and thought about what I wanted to do and what I wanted to sound like, it all kind of made sense to just do it. Even before I did hip hop, I'm trained to sing classical music. I can play
You're a
guitar.
classically trained musician.
Yeah, I can, drums. I played a little saxophone in high school as well. Keyboard is kind of the instrument I started out on. So I have a, pretty versed
You're a classically
understanding.
trained piano player.
Or vocalist, actually.
Vocalist. So
Yeah.
you can, like an opera.
I've sung Ave Maria more times than I would like to remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you set out to be a classical vocalist?
No,
to be an opera
weirdly
singer?
enough, my dad, he's one of those people, if you're going to do something, you're going to really do it. Like, even when we wanted to play sports as kids, we couldn't pick and choose what sports we wanted to play. If you're going to play sports, you got to play them all. I really hated baseball. He made me play baseball every summer as a kid. And once he found out I could sing, he was like, well, if you're going to sing, he's like, you're going to really learn how to sing. And, I'm from a very small town in Mississippi. I'm like, there's no way he's going to find somebody that can, teach, classical lessons. And, like, literally the next day, he was like, get ready, 4:30, you got your first voice lesson. And I was like, wow.
Your dad found a
Yeah, I was like,
vocal
and I'm from a town
coach?
of like maybe 1,500, 2,000 people, and this lady legit lived around the corner.
Did you
Like,
know her all the time?
I
You
didn't.
knew-
It was a house I passed all the time. I basically thought was abandoned, but no, this lady lived in this house. She had
This
two
is
kids.
like a horror movie.
Yeah, she had 2 kids that were already classically trained musicians. It was like, and so it was crazy. And so that's how that happened. And
And
Wow.
the twist is she was actually a ghost.
yeah. That's what,
I was gonna hope that we would touch on ghosts today.
Are you a ghost-loving person, Chris?
Oh, I'm dead inside, so I guess that. No, I mean,
Okay. You can't beat
Sure.
that. So you left the small town. What was the name of the town?
Prentice, Mississippi.
And what part of Mississippi is that in?
I call it South Central because it's not
South Central Mississippi.
It's not really far enough down to be like Biloxi or Gulfport or anything like that, but it's not too high up north either. It's not like Starkville or Oxford or anywhere like that. It's about 30 minutes north of Hattiesburg, about an hour south of Jackson.
Okay, so it's really in the middle of nowhere and it's super uncool.
I wouldn't say it's uncool, but it is in the middle of nowhere.
All right. Dan, you want another drink? You can get another drink if you like. We'll get someone to hook it up for you.
I gotta keep pace. Steady myself.
I think
I've
we'll
got
slow
a
down.
long evening ahead.
What are you doing the rest of tonight?
What am I doing the rest of the night? I've got a pool game, part of the pool league, the Frenchman pool league.
Okay.
Yeah, what else am I
Well, you
doing?
need to definitely keep drinking in that case. If
You
you're
know,
only
that's
playing
the-
pool.
I can't get too much of a head start because my pool game's gonna tank. You need a little bit of liquor, but not too much.
Not too much to be able to
It's-
shoot straight. Okay. All right. And so you came to college in New
I went
Orleans, right? Is
to
it?
Loyola University, just
Right.
right down the street from here.
Yeah.
I graduated with a degree in business management with a minor in biology.
Are you serious?
It was the other way
You didn't
around.
go to you didn't go to music school?
No, once again, my dad would not. He was not gonna let me go to school.
You
for
ever heard of
music, so-
rebelling against your parents?
I tried really hard, but it was, I don't know. I guess it was like the good kid in me or something like that. That I don't like letting people down. And
So you just did whatever your dad said. So Dad said be a
well,
biologist.
he didn't
and
want me
you're
to
like, okay.
be. He didn't want me to change my major. 3 years into it, I'm a junior, and I'm like, hey, switching to business. And so he wasn't really happy about that. But I just
So you
told him I
have a-
was having enough fun to do an extra lap. I just wanted
So
to
you
do
have a
victory
degree
lap
in
there.
business
Yes.
and biology.
With a minor in biology.
And
so,
minor in biology.
Yeah.
And you ended up being a musician. What a sad
Yeah, for the most part.
downward trend.
I do use my piece of paper every once in a while. I'm kind of in between things at the moment, but I was just recently working for a marketing firm, and that ended. So I'm just,
So you don't.
You're on
So
the
you do
market.
actually
come again.
on the market, Daniel. Yeah.
Yeah, on the market. Yeah, I'm a marketeer on the market. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Pretty interesting.
But yeah, no, I
Okay.
still use the piece of paper. Bills got to get paid, that sort of stuff. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you making a living out of this music business, or are you supplementing it
we're
with-
trying to get there. There's
Right.
different avenues.
Well-
there's streaming. If people go and stream.
Well, you know what?
you
We
can find us on
where do,
Spotify.
can we find you on Spotify?
Yeah, just
What's
search
it under?
ROD or Rodo.
I did.
You couldn't find me?
No.
I'll send you a link.
But
And,
why couldn't I find it? I searched for Rodo and
well,
all,
I'm
I
not.
just,
I sound good, but I'm not big time just yet. So
But it's supposed to be there on Spotify, but I couldn't find it. I could find all sorts of people whose names begin with RODO, like Rodolfo and.
okay.
give me your phone, I'll find it for you.
Okay.
You trust me?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Hang on. I'll open the Spotify app here for you. Hang on. Can you actually find it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how come I couldn't find it then?
Oh, you're not me.
Well, I think we've established that. Hang on a sec. Where is Spotify on my phone?
Stacy, I would actually
There
love
it is.
to hear more about your crystals and the crystal business.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Stacey, tell us, first of all, tell us how you go mining for crystals.
You just booked the trip.
Where to?
You have to know where they are.
Georgia,
Right?
Arkansas, wherever. I mean, there's places all over that have public mines.
Are there?
Yeah, you have to pay for them.
Okay.
But, you know,
Where is there a public mine where I can go dig up amethysts?
Amethyst, Georgia.
Found it. Look at this. He found it in 1 second. Holy shit. How did you do that? Why couldn't I find it?
Oh, man. You're not-
So you just search for Rodo, R-O-D-O, and there it is.
You-
Okay. So we can steal the stuff right off Spotify.
You're not a millennial, are you, Grant?
As
No,
of now,
I'm a
there's
long
only-
way away from that.
As of now, there's only one song.
There's
on
only
the-
Fat on
impressive.
there.
Just wait
Spotify. Yeah,
till
just
you
one
That's a
song.
good song,
That's
too.
a good song. Yeah, yeah.
What about that
was-
song
was a
Crazy?
little more-
Why isn't that Crazy song up there?
the one that you just heard?
No, not the song, the girl's Crazy song. The giant hit you had.
Oh, Crazy Girl. Yeah,
Crazy
so
Girl.
that was part of a different.
That was a different lifetime. That was
different
you and Mo.
era. Yeah, that was
Rodo
yeah,
and Mo.
yeah, Rodo and Mo. That was back when I was playing guitar and singing. Actually, I wasn't doing much hip hop then.
Okay.
I was more. It was more of it was hip hop meets Jack Johnson, Jason Mraz kind of. So I guess we've always blended. But yeah, no, that one's. It's actually this month makes 10 years that we actually put that song out. So that's
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years
That's
ago.
a great song,
Yeah.
actually. Okay, I didn't realize it was that old. Okay, so all we've got is this one song on Spotify. So
That's
that's
it.
for a guy who's a professional marketing major.
That's bad
That
marketing.
doesn't
there,
seem
right?
to be a very good idea. Yeah.
Well, we're actually wrapping some things up with the band at the moment. So hopefully about 2020, we'll have the full
About
EP out.
2020.
Yeah, we'll have the full EP out.
About 2020.
Year
Some things
2020.
will be a bit
Yes,
clearer.
but that's only August. So what is it? September.
September. Yeah, so we got 3 months there, you know.
Okay.
And hopefully everything will be done with the recordings with the band.
Okay,
We
so
want to
then
really do it the right way.
So the band is called Naughty by Choice.
Naughty
is
by
that right?
choice.
Okay.
Because
And
some
then
people, are naughty by nature, but others choose to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right, Naughty by Choice. And the name of the record is going to be A Note from the Universe?
A Note from
Is
the
that right?
Universe.
So
Mhm.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting back to A Note from the Universe right now, Stacey. So here we are. We're going to go book a trip to where? Somewhere in Georgia where there's a public mine.
So you're looking for amethyst?
Well, what are we looking for? What are
Okay.
these? Go through this list.
Yeah,
again.
yeah. So this is rose quartz.
Okay.
This is amethyst, citrine, and celestite.
Okay, what does citrine do? That looks like a sort of Neapolitan dessert.
Right. So, so actually, amethyst, as it undergoes more pressure and heat, it becomes citrine.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
these are all pretty much in the quartz family. So these are the most common. So that's what I brought today.
Okay. So you get in a car and you drive to somewhere where there's a mine. Is that
Yep.
what you're saying? And you go down the mine with what? Is it down in a mine
No,
like a coal mine?
That's not like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
What is it?
I mean, you may have some pickaxe, but or some garden tools, but it's very much more like digging through dirt.
So you're on you're on the surface of the earth.
Yeah.
You're not down in a mine.
I mean, you can be, but there's a lot of things you can find just digging in the dirt, literally.
You just dig these up.
Yes.
And who owns this land that you're on?
Usually they're privately owned, and they'll charge you, a fee to come and dig.
How much do you have to pay to go and dig up this stuff?
On average,
Yeah.
maybe $30.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you bring it back to your shop here, and
I bring them back. I prepare them.
What are
I
they-
use a product called Iron Out because a lot of times when you dig them up, I mean, you can probably still see a little bit. But
So what do they look like? They don't look like this. They're all dirty.
they're dirty. Some of them have some rust on them on the outside, so you have to
Right.
soak them.
So do you have to know what you're looking for? Because when you dig them up, they don't look like this.
Yes.
So you have to
So you
know
kind
that
of have to. So a lot of times they call it the peanut butter and jelly, but it's basically like the different formations of mica and different other minerals that are going to be found around where you will find a pocket of crystals.
So you're walking into a field like a farm,
Yeah.
a piece of
Well,
land.
yeah. Usually they'll probably dig up some stuff for you with some machinery just to kind of give you a better chance.
Right. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm curious about the different so people buy these crystals because they have special properties and special powers.
Yeah, so back to what we were talking about earlier. So when you look at the scientific aspect of the crystals and the way they're formed, I actually, the other day, I was just sitting at home and I was like, I'm going to Google this. Okay, what is the definition of alive? And I Googled it, and it was like energetic, growing, not dead. And that's exactly what crystals are. They continue to grow. Even people after getting them will continue to see different growths form.
Hang on, just stop there for a sec. This is growing? A piece
It
of
can
rock?
be.
Rock is continuing to grow.
It can be, yeah. There's been many people
can
that
be.
have experienced where their crystals have formed new crystals on top of their
Okay.
crystals.
Is yours growing around your neck, Rodo?
No, not yet. I don't think. Not yet.
Okay, I never heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I guess...
But I have also heard that, though. I've also heard
Yeah,
that.
and then when you
Wow.
look at the atomic structures, so the way that the atoms are placed, they are so tightly fit together like a perfect puzzle piece, unlike any other physical matter around us, that what happens is it creates a super high vibration within them because of the particles bouncing off that super tight structure.
Is this
That's why-
scientifically true, or is this just
Yes,
some
it
sort of...
is. It is. Yes, you can research
Okay.
all of this.
Do you believe in this, Daniel?
This is energy and atoms. It's all I'm talking
Okay.
about.
So
At this point.
well, yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, rocks and everything is made of energy, and it's made of atoms. The one thing I will just say is that there is a kind of I guess a fallacy that I think fortunately happens, where a lot of times people talk about energy and they assume, they then say that, oh well, quantum physics and physics says that everything is made out of energy, and so my ideas are true. Well, in a sense, yes, but the energy that is being talked about when people buy crystals is emotional energy. It's the kind of feeling of having, I don't know, protection, like your crystal, or certain kind of blessing or power or whatnot, and that's it's a psychological energy, which is very real and very valuable.
You're not saying that there's a psychological energy inside the crystal. You're saying we're bringing that psychological.
Well, so yes, yeah, I believe that these crystals do have power, psychological power, and the people that wear them and use them, it does help them. It genuinely does.
But you could give the same psychological power to that cocktail glass, couldn't you?
And many times people have rabbit's foots that they use for luck, or various forms.
Yeah, I'm not exactly talking about energy, more about vibration, which can be measured in the crystals. And the thing is that they each carry a different vibrational,
Right, so
number.
what you have to do, Stacey, here's the story. You have to take one of these crystals here today and somehow give Daniel a
Daniel
headache
needs
or
to
a
go
heart
home with
attack or
one.
something, so that you can prove that it really is...
I
I
don't
think
want
the
to.
best way for the headache is just
See,
to
the
rock
thing is,
right
I
outside.
You
don't.
could just throw it with a rocket.
In the
Yeah.
music industry, we
Is
call
there,
that
is
percussive
there a way,
matrix.
or make him feel great, is there a way to actually take one of these crystals and make someone who's a skeptic feel something?
So I'm going to go off of what I know, and that is that they each carry a different measurable vibrational frequency, which throughout the human body we have certain points throughout the body that also can be measured a vibrational frequency. And so some people have said that yes, crystals can resonate with these different collection points, and therefore can affect them. So I'm looking at it more on a measurable vibrational sense, which I am a spiritual person as well, but I think I'm also I study geology as well at Tulane, so to me I have to know a little bit of the science behind it. I can't just take all the all the
But
spiritual
you're saying
stuff.
there is science behind it. This
There
is
is.
actual, this amethyst
Yes.
actually vibrates at some sort of...
It's got a specific frequency, yes.
And what's measuring that? What
And
could we
so-
measure that with?
You'd have to have I don't even have enough money to buy one of those machines.
Well, we're going to get that with the GoFundMe
You guys
when
wanna
we
do
also
the
pay
GoFundMe?
for killing the other guy.
We can do that.
Assassination.
Yeah, we're going to chip in with the extra money. We're going to absolutely
Yeah.
knock them off.
I
We're going
mean,
to buy a machine.
that's why crystals are actually used in every piece of technology that's here today. All your computers, your microphones, your watches, your phones, because they have abilities to transmute information or store information. So they have some abilities that are kind of still, being figured out.
And that's absolutely true that crystals and various forms, of quartz and diamond are used in technology all the time. There are various physical properties that various minerals have. That's undoubtable. The leap that is being made that is not supported, I believe, is saying that these physical properties then have psychological effects on human beings, and that hasn't really been shown to be true any more than a rabbit's foot has influence on people, or a cross on a wall.
You've got to
has
have an
influence
answer
on
to this,
people.
Stacy, right? You've got to have a convincing.
My only answer is that I believe that us having our own vibrational frequency that can be measured, as well as a crystal's, when we come into contact with that crystal, I can't imagine that there's not any, exchange in that process. And if you have something here that has a higher frequency than we do, which all of them do, because of their atomic structure and the way that they are.
Yeah, but what Daniel's saying is that this doesn't have any greater property than a rabbit's foot.
It does. Vibrationally, it does. Vibrationally, the atomic structure is so perfectly fit, like a perfect puzzle piece, that light can even pass through it evenly. So it is unlike any other physical matter. So for us to say that we're going to come into contact with something that has a higher measurable vibrational frequency than us and have absolutely no effect on us, I don't believe that.
Well, it's one thing not to believe something, but it's a lot harder to actually prove that it's true. And that's what the business of science is, and
Sure.
Unfortunately, knowledge is very hard won, and to do it, it's a lot of rigorous testing and experimentation. Everything has a vibration. You're right, because quantum physics has every object has a wave function, and these wave functions, we can describe physical objects as waves. We ourselves can be thought of as waves. But again, the interactions that we're talking about are on the mechanical, physical level. And typically what we're talking about when we're talking about, crystal powers, it's not mechanical forces, it's more emotional forces that we're talking about.
Yeah, but Stacey's saying it's not, and wouldn't you rather live in a world where it's possible that there are other dimensions and other metaphysical things that we don't understand?
There seem to be other dimensions, and that I believe is really where a lot of this takes its power. It's this idea of an enchanted world that many people really want, and I myself am very attracted to this idea that there is more to the world than just the physical plane.
Okay, so why couldn't there be power in crystals?
There could be, but I just haven't seen convincing evidence to suggest that there is.
But what convincing evidence have you seen for your other spiritual beliefs?
Well, I don't have many spiritual beliefs. I have very few beliefs.
I thought you did. I thought you had.
Well, no, I don't really believe much of anything. I have a lot of really strong hunches about things, but I try not to believe much of anything. Because
Okay, so you've dispensed entirely with any kind of non-physical reality.
No, I mean there's emotional reality. There's empathy.
Okay.
There's seeing other people,
But
treating them
emotions
with respect.
only exist within your body, though.
And
Emotions don't exist outside.
among people, yes, and that our internal reality that matters. That matters a great deal.
Yeah, but that's something that's sort of real. I mean, you might call it emotion, or you might call it sadness or happiness, but it's still just inside you. It's not something that exists on another plane.
Yeah.
Whereas what we're talking about here is what Stacey's talking about, is that energy that comes from in some other plane other than is necessarily measurable.
Yeah, well,
but it has an effect.
So people tend to think about spirituality as this kind of spirit as needing to involve energies that we can't explain. But spirituality, really, if you look at the study of it, it's really about it's a psychological and a social phenomenon. I consider myself very spiritual. In fact,
what's your definition of being very spiritual? Then?
Well, being spiritual is seeing. Being spiritual, for me, is looking at the world and seeing kind of unities that don't actually exist, seeing unities among people, seeing the ability to form peace and loving relationships, being able to create and imagine alternate worlds. These are in a sense part of spirit. It's part of the human spirit. And
the
that's
ability to
what we
create
do.
and imagine alternate worlds.
And then
What does that
and then
actually mean?
Well, every time you think about the future, every time you think about tomorrow, that's an
not
imagined
alternate world. That's
It
the
is.
same world we're living in, except in
Well, no,
a
it's
different time.
We live in many imagined worlds. That the fact that we live in a country in the USA right now, the USA is an imagined entity. Nations are imagined entities. Democracy and capitalism are imagined entities. We've agreed upon all these various ways of exchanging.
But they're not non-existent. They do exist.
They
don't
exact a lot of a real effect. So just like an idea, any idea can exact effects and is real in a sense.
So, but we all have to agree that we live in a country, and we all have to agree that we're going to obey the law, and we all have to agree to respect each other and all those things for a society to work, right?
And most
that's
of us do, not everyone.
And that's not right, but that's not real in the sense that that doesn't exist. Is that what you're talking about? That's the kind of sort of social compact that you're talking about. That's not spiritual, though. It's just not physical.
Yeah,
So that's not what most people would regard as spirituality. I don't
Right. What I'm talking about in terms of spirituality is the things that inspire us, the works of art that move us to tears, works of music, movies, the natural world. These things, when we engage with them, even with crystals and rocks, like I see them as works of beauty. I see the landscape that they come from as this beautiful, beautiful place. And if you're among them, if you're out among the rocks, you have this connection with these millions of years that have formed these pieces of beautiful crystal. That's not to be scoffed and written off. There's a huge human value and emotional value in these things.
Hey, listen, Chris, wait up. We're going to take a very, 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 very quick break. And we're going to come back and we're going to let you say exactly what you're going to say next, okay? We'll be right back after this. And we're back on Happy Hour with Daniel Shkolnik, Chris Wilson, Rodo, and Stacy Bogg, the Crystal Queen. And Chris, what were you going to say about that?
Gosh, I guess in reference to his idea, I mean, it sounds like you believe in if you could think of a possibility, if a possibility exists, then that is in itself put into existence in some sort of way, which is great. But, I mean, I got nothing. I have nothing. I mean, I am lost in translation in these conversations. I am just a passenger.
Do you have any do you have a spiritual belief, Chris, of your own? Are you religious in any way?
No.
So you don't believe in any dimension other than...
I think music in its own way is spiritual. It's a way for me to connect with something that, even being a musician, I can't entirely say that I understand it. I just kind of, go to the will of it, and it takes me places, Sometimes it'll take me, somewhere that's more private. Sometimes I'll be sitting with you, and sharing.
Do you write?
Yes, absolutely.
And
All the time.
Does that take you to another place when you write? Does it come from somewhere else?
It feels like in its own way, like a snapshot of a moment or a feeling that I had.
Do you feel like you're writing it, or do you feel like the creativity is coming from some other place and you're just channeling it into a guitar?
Maybe that version of myself. We all grow, but like in a weird way, it's kind of great because you can always go back to that because it's a physical, tangible thing. It's great.
Right.
And that's kind of, just to kind of piggyback off of that real quick, that's kind of what what I'm calling the EP Note from the Universe.
Yeah.
Music is one of those things that no matter how hard you try to get away from it, if it's meant for you to do it, it's going to always come back. And that's kind of what I've learned through life. Every time I'm like, I'm done with this. I don't think I'm going to do it now. I'm going to focus on, work. I'm going to focus on school. I'm going to focus on life. It's like, wait a minute. Music still makes up a part of, what you are and who you do. So every time I literally have tried to get away from it, the universe has somehow been like, wait a minute,
you're meant to be a musician.
Off if you're not doing this in some shape, form, or fashion.
Let's take a listen to something else then. What have you?
Awesome.
What do you want to play?
We do have another song for you guys called Toast. I thought it was very appropriate to play this song since we're here at Happy Hour. This is usually the song that I open my sets with. It's the song we'll open up with tonight. A little more of a laid-back version. I'm still not. Sorry.
It's okay.
I just can't hear any of the guitar.
You can't?
In my headphones.
Really?
Yeah, no, I haven't. Even the first song, I couldn't hear anything in my...
Really? I can hear it fine. Can you hear the guitar? Stacy?
Yeah, I can hear it.
You can't hear that?
No, I can hear it coming from the speaker over there, but I'll do my... we made it through the first song, so I'll do my best.
I don't know where I'm hearing it from.
Well, that's fantastic.
Okay.
It's
Well,
not
let's do
all
it.
for naught.
All right, let's do it. I'll just take one of these off so I can hear a little better. All right, Chris, whenever you're ready. One time for the good-looking women in the room right now. 2 times for the homies that came to shut it down. 3 times for the people who know their time is now. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, I raise a. Ooh, you know I raise a toast to that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, I raise a toast to that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, I raise a toast to that. Ooh, you know I raise a toast to that. Oh yeah, I answering my phone now, cause every call's a close one. Nowadays everybody wanna hold something, and everybody claim they know something. Smoking flames and hill bees of pain, so girl stop, drop, roll something. Cut my past short just to grow from it. As the rain drops, we stand tall. Came up through the downfall, scoop 'em up like a ground bomb, and I plead the fifth. Smoke a 7, road to the D.O. Yes, no forgetting, I'm known for spitting. I came to get it, ripping a split, licking her lips to tell me to quit. Ain't that some? So we laugh it off, and when the money talks, we show it off. Ball so hard, getting carted off. Man, one time for the new year, yeah, we gon' do it, but no matter who's here. It's all night, my crew in here. Go and get your hands up if you in here, cause I'm 2 songs from blowing up, and 2 shots from throwing up. Living too fast to be holding up. Don't hold me down, just pass the crown, and it's roll. One time for the good-looking women in the room right now. 2 times for the homies that came to shut it down. 3 times for the people who know their time is now. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, I raise a toast to that. Ooh, you know I raise a toast to that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, I raise a toast to that. You know I raise a toast to that. One time for the good-looking women in the room right now. 2 times for the homies that came to shut it down. 3 times for the people who know their time is now. I raise a toast to that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, I raise a toast to that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, I raise a toast to that.
Yes.
Nice.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Cool.
Man, you're really onto something here, Rodo, I tell you that. Pity it's not available on Spotify except that one song.
Not
But
yet, Grant.
you've got to get that
It'll
up
be
there.
yeah,
When
yeah.
it is,
That
so you
was
just, I'll give you my number. You can call me. I'll pull it up on Spotify.
Thank you very much. I need your help, Chris. That's really cool, though.
Awesome.
So where are you playing around New Orleans? Where can we find you?
Well, tonight I'll be at the Republic on September 21st. Actually, if you really want to catch me, the best way to do it is bi-monthly. I put an art show together at the Art Garage, actually, and it's more than just hip hop. It's more than just music. It's actually any sort of like clothing vendor or artist or graphic designer, anyone that has something that they feel like is an art and they like it enough or they have enough passion about it to sell it off.
This is the
beautiful
thing that's
venue.
at the Republic?
No.
The
this
thing
is
at the
the art-
Republic will
yeah.
be similar to it, but
Okay.
the one at the Republic is kind of a corporate event, like somewhere some
Okay.
people from LA put it together. But this is something I do right here in New Orleans.
So you
It's
organize
very
this
New
stuff.
So yeah, I'm
Orleans.
basically the curator for this event, and so
Okay, what's it called?
it's called the one coming up. It's called the Sounds of Fall. So every time we switch a season, we'll have another one.
Okay.
So this will be the
Sounds
Sounds of Fall.
of.
Sounds of
A
Fall.
season.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
The
full.
venue is beautiful.
Yeah,
too.
if you haven't been to the Art Garage on
Yeah.
St.
It's
just
Claude,
something
it is
else.
it's
Okay.
very
Like,
nice.
there's just art everywhere. It's like a physical piece of art you can just walk
You can
around.
just- yeah.
And just like there are places that you can sit and just enjoy and just beautiful lights. I mean,
And so
gosh,
there's a
something
$7 cover. It's headlined by Sexy Dex and the Fresh this time. I even though it's my show, I don't headline it. Usually I will play because I would like my crowd to come out and also support these artists as well. So I'm usually on the bill, but this time we got Sexy Ducks in the Fresh, MC and the Manics, my band Rodo and Naughty by Choice, Be Creative, and K the Beast. And our clothing vendors, we'll have everything there from vintage clothing to specialty women boutique stuff. I have a makeup artist that's selling her
photography. When is this again?
September 21st. Yeah, there'll be
September
photographers.
21st, 2019.
Yeah.
Stacey, are you going to have your Karma Rocks there?
Hey,
Your
listen,
company-
if you want to come out and we can
Yeah.
I always got a spot for
happy to
anybody.
do
So yeah, if you'd like to be a part of it, I would love to have you
Yeah.
for sure.
So your company's called Karma Rocks,
Yes, because karma rocks.
because Karma Rocks.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that was still available, that name, when you found
It is.
Are you karmarocks.com?
.net.
.net.
Yes.
Is there a karmarocks.com that someone had already taken?
Yeah, it was like some weird company in like Australia, and they
Really?
wanted me to buy it. It wasn't even anything like what I do at all, and I
I
was
hate
like,
that.
So yeah, so I had to go with net.
But still good. It's still a great company name.
Yeah,
Karma
thank you.
Rocks. Hey, and so listen, Daniel, we can find you on the street. We haven't even talked about your poetry.
Yeah,
I
well,
would love to hear your poetry.
That's what you really do is you're
Yeah,
a
you
poet.
let me do all the poetry stuff over here. Let's give us.
well, you can find us online. Ragtime Poetry Co. Is the name of the company. You can find so ragtimepoetry.com. You can commission a poem. Actually, that's if you want a taste of what we do, go to the website ragtimepoetry.com. Commission a poem. It's by donation basis. So whatever you think the poem is worth. After you read it, that's how much it is.
Wow.
That's also how we work on the street. There's a vibrant street busking poetry tradition here in New Orleans, and on Frenchman Street you'll find a lot of poets. On Royal Street you'll find a lot of poets, and everybody's hawking a different typewriter from a different decade.
So you're a combo of a sort of a super science guy and a poet.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Both sides of the coin.
What star sign are you?
I think is it the astrology sign?
Yeah.
I
Don't tell me you don't know.
Can I guess?
I do know. Please guess. Go.
Would it be Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio?
It's
You got a
one of those.
25% chance because it's only 12. So
Would it be a Pisces or Cancer?
It's actually the Scorpio.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
yeah.
Well,
good job.
What
Yeah.
makes you think that he's a water sign?
Well,
because he
Scorpio.
seems to be a lot emotional based, and all three of those are like very
You
emotional
think he's
signs.
emotional, even though he's coming across
He's
as
made
Mr.
that clear
Science.
very many times
Oh.
today.
Can you guess
Would
my
you-
sign?
No.
Oh, come on. Grant, you got it?
Could I guess your
Guess
sign?
my
I
sign.
don't even know what they are, all of them.
Aries.
I would say Virgo. I wouldn't have the
Around
faintest
Aries.
idea.
Someone said Aries over there. Is that
I hope that
No.
didn't offend
No,
you.
no.
How did
Okay.
you, but you would peg Daniel as an emotional person.
Yes.
Yeah,
When he's-
and
would you
actually-
agree with that?
No, I do agree with that, and thank you for
See you in
saying
the
that.
Do you
It's
believe
something
there's
that-
anything in
sign.
astrology, or it's all bullshit?
Well, I don't believe in it, but
Okay.
I think that there is value in reflecting upon your characteristics, your personality.
How would you explain that Stacey figured that out, though?
Well, there are actually various techniques that
Did you
various
date a
psychics
Scorpio?
I don't
actually
know any
use.
techniques.
Is it mind
I just-
reading?
Well, so in that scenario, it's one of four chance, but there are actually better techniques.
She did name 4 of them, if we're being honest.
No,
I mean,
just
that's
3.
Just
Three.
the 3?
Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces.
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
which is
now there's a
25%.
combination. Yeah.
Right.
You know
but
what?
I don't mean to put you down or put
It's
you in a
okay.
corner. There are actual psychics, that
Are
are
you saying-
basically
are you psychic?
con people.
Psychic.
And
You're
I'm
not
not saying
psychic, are you?
I'm not saying that you're doing this.
I don't
you know-
solicit myself that way.
Are
but-
you psychic?
I don't feel like we gave ghosts enough of a real touch.
We never even got into ghosts. You know what I wouldn't mind doing? I wouldn't mind doing this all again sometime. We're going to get out of here right now.
Yeah, I don't solicit myself as a psychic, but I'm
But you
very
have
in
psychic.
tune.
You are. That's interesting.
Oh.
Has that helped you, or is it more of a?
Absolutely, it
does.
helps me. How do you think I found my kid?
That was a psychic.
bad.
That was just. I thought that was a spy camera.
How do you think I knew what to do?
I don't know.
Sometimes you just have some good intuition on stuff.
Right.
That's your
Wow.
woman's intuition.
Okay, listen, guys, we've got to get the hell out of here because we're going to make room for actual paying customers here at Wayfair.
Sure.
But thank you so much for being here. Listen, but before we get out of here, I do have to tell you this. That today's show has been brought to us in part by Basics on Magazine Street near Jefferson Avenue, where they sell fine lingerie, and Basics Swim and Gym sell a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout and yoga clothes with style, and the Positive Vibrations Foundation, who create and encourage community through the development and preservation of the arts, music, culture and heritage. And if you'd like to be a member of our Patreon family, you can go to patreon.com and search for It's New Orleans Happy Hour, and you too can become a member of our exclusive club where you get other stuff that we don't do here, which I'm not exactly sure what that is, but C-Rock and Asher will tell you about that. And that's for as little as $1 that will all happen. So thank you very much, Stacy Bogg from Karma Rocks, and we can also find you on Facebook as well.
Yes.
By tracking you down there is easy enough to find.
KarmaRocks.net, on Insta, KarmaRocks.llc, or I have a Karma Rocks page on Facebook.
Okay. And Rodo, we can find R-O-D-O by just go to Spotify and get one song.
All the streaming things. If you really want to help me out, Instagram is probably the best way to do it. That's R-O-D-O-J-O, the number 2, the number 1.
Rodo Joe 21.
That's it.
Okay, cool. And Chris, how do we find you?
Craig_Christ on Instagram. I actually have a show on the 20th at the Neutral Ground Coffee House here in New Orleans, 9 o'clock.
That's just you playing the guitar?
Yeah, I play and sing too.
All right, how cool. Yeah. And Daniel Shkolnik, we can find you at Ragtime Poetry.
Ragtimepoetry.com or on Facebook or Instagram, Ragtime Poetry. And can commission a poem or get us for one of your private events.
All right. And we go to the Church of the Poison Mind at some point in the future. Okay. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I would love to do this whole thing again, actually.
Yeah,
I feel like we haven't really
part two.
got
Just
started.
scratched the surface.
Yeah, we really have just scratched the
We're
surface.
going to have to talk about your assassination problem.
Okay, let's get on to that next. Thank you so much. That's Happy Hour for another week. The producer of our show is Graham DePonte. Our music producer is Monique Pyle. Christian Unruh is our music consultant. And our technical director is Thomas Walsh. Our Facebook live feed director is Asher Griffith. And our fact check and social media connector is Andrew C-Rock. C-Rock, our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright for about 60 minutes while talking about religion and drinking alcohol, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com. But you can also check out many other happy hours we've made previous to this one, along with other shows we make here, including Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tucker, and our award-winning podcast about death called Death the Podcast. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on a bunch of time-sucking social media like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. On all of it, we're called It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our It's New Orleans Happy Hour Facebook page. These photos are taken today by Hope Bird. You can find more of Hope's photos at a website called The Gold Frame, and the easiest way to find that is to just Google Hope Bird, which is spelled B-Y-R-D. If you listen to this on your favorite podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a minute, if you've got one, to tell your friends about us. If your podcast app has a share option, try telling a couple of friends about Happy Hour. The show was recorded live today at Wayfair on Fred Street in Uptown New Orleans. Happy Hour is a production of I Know Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. Andrew Duhon will be back here in a week or two. In the meantime, he's on the road around America. If he's in a town near you, you can find that out by going to andrewduhon.com. So on behalf of everybody around the table here at Wayfair and back at our office in I Know Broadcasting, thanks for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. I'll see you back here next week for more Happy Hour.